Welcome to CityBeat, inside Palo Alto. Much of what the city does is working for you. And in today's show, we're going to be looking at any number of things that are working for you. We're going to show street sweepers, sandbags at the airport, equipment management. We'll also have regulars, things like trash busters, sustainability, and the history corner. Do stay with us. Dave Arrow and his crew are busy at this time of the year. It's autumn and the leaves are falling. Dave, how many tons of leaves would you pick up in an average year?
Well, average year, we do between 2,000 and 2,400 tons of leaves.
And what do you do with all those leaves? They go to the landfill and then what?
Well, they're piled up at the landfill and they're run through a compost grinder. The grinder, makes it finer, and then they take and store it and sell it back to different businesses and give some away to the public.
And there must be lots of different kind of machinery that you need for street sweeping. What all do you need?
Well, the City of Palo Alto is unique. We have some of our own custom design equipment, things that are unique to the City of Palo Alto. We have leaf pushing trucks that actually have like snowplow designed leaf rakes that can actually push piles of leaves to the intersections, and then we have our own custom designed compactor trucks that pick up those leaves. They compact them into the beds of the trucks, making it, optimize the capacity of the vehicles and then deliver them to the landfills.
And tell me, what's the advice would you give to residents in order to make your job easier and so that the leaves don't clog up storm drains and that sort of thing?
I think the biggest thing for Palo Alto residents, that the way they could help us would be to take their cars off the street on sweep day. That's pretty. Everybody knows what day their sweeping day is. If they could put their cars in the driveway, that would be a huge help. Secondly, would be not to have their gardeners rake out or place any debris or garden, trimmings into the street for our street sweepers to pick up. We've had some problems in the past with people putting piles of leaves and debris in the street. And actually, at one point in time, we picked up a transmission. Excuse me. We've picked up sticks. The sticks damage our street sweepers, and so there are certain things that we just can't pick up, and it just causes us to leave those piles behind.
And we're going to see now a demonstration. So can we see how it works?
No problem. We can do it.
thanks for that demonstration on street sweeping, Dave. Now, there must be a future here about what we can do to make things better and easier.
Yes, as I said before, one of the great things would be to have cars off the street. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to access the curbs better with cars parked in the new parking garages downtown. We also, just for your information, we will be directing our sweepers via the satellites and GIS system that the city has in place. Sooner or later our routes will be on there where we can optimize our routes through those systems. So I see a lot of good things coming from street sweeping in the future.
Frank Alvarado is here to tell us about Utilities' new 24/7 plan. Frank, tell us just what is 24/7?
Our 24/7 plan is we have a group of 9 servicemen who work around the clock providing safe and efficient service to our utility customers of Palo Alto. When we first started the 24/7 plan, the original idea was to provide safe and convenient and reliable service to the city of Palo Alto utilities customers.
Well, that's great because, utilities, you never know when a storm's going to hit or when power's going to go out, so you really need that. And safety is a big deal.
Yes, safety is number one priority in our group. Since doing our 24/7, our main objective was to respond with the safety in mind and a quick response. Prior to our 24/7, we actually had a response time on emergencies of about approximately half an hour response time. This was done with an on-call basis. You actually, the service person was actually called out from home after hours. And with this new 24/7, we actually have a service person who's actually on a regular schedule and in town, and that actually cut our response time in half. So the average now is about 15 minutes.
Well, that sounds great, and I'm sure that given that response time is now so quick, the customer response must be terrific.
Yeah, actually, it's really nice. We actually have really positive feedback from our customers.
Sure.
Along with the people from our utility dispatch center. The police and fire utilizes our person who's on a 24/7. And of course, all the other departments, we work closely with Public Works. Whereas a Public Works person would be called out to take care of like glass in the street or fixing a sign. Now they won't be called out. We would actually take care of it.
And what is that phone number that a resident should call to utilize this 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week utility service?
Our 24-hour emergency number is 329-2413.
It's a glorious day out here at the Palo Alto Airport, but you wouldn't know that we've had our first rain of the season. Mick McDonald is here to tell us something about the sandbag supply for the city. Mick, where does a resident get sandbags?
Well, we currently have 2 locations that we have sandbags at. One is at the airport where we're standing now, and these are filled sandbags. And the second one is at Greer Park, located at California and Greer. Now, those there are, sometimes it's a pile of sand, but other times it's filled. We just had the Explorer Scouts fill some 35 pallets worth of sandbags that we're going to currently put at that location. Now, when we have more activity, a lot more rain and require more sandbags, we'll open up 2 additional stations. One will be at Mitchell Park, right there by the tennis courts, and the other will be at Hale and Palo Alto Avenue.
Now, with the winter storm season here, what are some tips for residents to prepare and think ahead?
Well, there's a couple of tips. One is if you know you live in a flood zone, then you need to be a little bit more vigilant than not. Clear all the debris away, like the leaves in your drains and the leaves in the gutters and the like. Also, you want to make sure that you prepare for this disaster as you would for any other disaster, and that means having a supply of water and food and you need to get away from the candles. We were raised with preparing with having a lot of candles around our house during the winter preparedness. And we live in earthquake country, so replace those with some of your battery-operated hand lanterns.
Okay. And tell me, now there's an information line where the residents can call, say, during a storm and check up on conditions?
That's correct. As conditions change, we will change that information hotline. And that number is 329-2420. We also keep up with the Homeland Security color coding on that line as well.
And people can also check the website for what's on the website.
Well, on the website, there's a lot of information as to where the sandbag locations are, how to fill sandbags, are you in a flood zone, and there's also a graphic chart on the current conditions or the current height of all of the creeks in town. So it's real time. You click on that and you can find out exactly what the levels are. But remember, though, that those are bell-shaped charts and bell-shaped pictures, and it holds a lot more in the second half than it does in the first half.
This is the Municipal Service Center, where a lot of equipment is stored and managed. With me is Keith LaHaye. Keith, tell me, what is equipment management for the city of Palo Alto?
Well, equipment management has cradle-to-grave responsibility for all of the city's vehicles and equipment. We buy them, maintain them, dispose of them. The city has about 600 pieces of equipment, all the way from little electric parking meter scooters up to motor graders and large trucks, aerial devices, fire trucks, emergency generators, pumps, sweepers, a whole array of landfill equipment, turf equipment, just about anything you could think of that would be used in a municipal government, it's here.
It sounds like an enormous range and depth and breadth of equipment. How do you maintain all of that?
Well, we do most of the maintenance here in our facility. I would say about 80% of the work is done here. Some of it is contracted out. Major overhauls and things that we're really not equipped to handle or just don't have the staff to accomplish, we'll contract out. All of the landfill equipment maintenance is handled by a contractor. And there are other things like radiator repairs and exhaust system replacements that are just more cost-effective to contract out.
And I understand that there was a big step forward in terms of sustainability, which is one of the city's major policies now. You've changed to alternative fuels. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, the city's actually been using alternative fuels for about 20 years. Back in the mid-'80s, they acquired a number of electric vehicles. Unfortunately, at that time, they weren't very advanced and they didn't work out very well. And about 10 years ago, we started converting some vehicles to run on compressed natural gas, and those actually worked out very well. We really started a push for natural gas in 1997. We have right now about 65 vehicles that run on natural gas. They range from little Honda Civics all the way up to a big 40-yard garbage packer. We have a small number of electric vehicles. We're going to be acquiring 5 more electrics. We have one Toyota Prius hybrid that the utilities department uses. And we're actually making a push towards fuel cells and hydrogen fuel.
Well, that's fantastic. And I understand there's a lot of recycling that's done as well.
Right. We recycle all of our fluids. We have a closed loop on antifreeze. We don't buy any new antifreeze. We buy recycled, and then we send out our waste antifreeze to be recycled. We do the same thing with just about every type of lubricant. There are some lubricants that can't be recycled due to the high degree of refining that needs to take place, but I would say at least 3/4 of the oil we use is recycled oil.
Wow. Well, thank you ever so much for this great tour of equipment management for the city. I'm here with Gail Woolley at the downtown post office on Hamilton Street. Gail, tell me, what makes this building so special?
It's a very unusual post office. It's probably the only one in California in this mission early California style. It was special too because it was designed by Burge Clark, our very own architect who has designed many other buildings in Palo Alto. This is the only one though that has his name on the cornerstone, which is kind of interesting.
And tell me, there are some special features about the architecture here.
Oh, yes, some very special features. You'd notice the arcade most prominently in the front of the building, also the red tile roof, and in many places there is wrought iron grill work, and not only on the outside of the building, but also on the inside of the building. In fact, I never mind standing in line at the downtown post office because there's so much to look at. In fact, sometimes I want to be a docent and point out to the other people in line, look up.
And tell me, there was something going on about the whole process in putting this together.
Yes. Well, it was the Depression. This was started in 1932. So the government was looking to create jobs. We had a post office. It was in where University Art is now, but it was only part of that building that was devoted to the post office. So the town fathers thought that there should be a building that is simply just the post office. President Hoover was in office at that time, and Burge Clark did not think that Hoover directly had anything to do with it, but maybe someone suggested that since Burge and his father had designed President Hoover's house on the Stanford campus, which is now the Stanford president's house, that they may have suggested that Burge be the architect. There was also a movement in government to use local architects.
And Burge Clark is really as local as you can get. I understand he went to Pali. What are some other things you know about him?
Well, he was on the faculty at Stanford for a number of years, and he was really, for many, many years, the only architect in this area. So he designed many, many buildings.
Do you have some idea of the number of buildings he designed?
I think it's over 200, many on the campus and many down. Our favorite ones, like the Lucy Stern Community Center, are his. The 500 block on Ramona Street downtown, most of those are his.
Thank you, Gail. And for more information about Burge Clark and Palo Alto history in general, contact the Palo Alto Historical Association. Katie Obringer and I are here at the Children's Library to talk about a number of different things. Katie, let's start first with the Children's Library itself. There's a lot of rich history here.
Oh, there really is a lot of rich history. The building itself was built in 1940, and it was a gift to the city by Lucy Stern, in the name of her daughter Ruth. And so the building and the furnishings were made just for children, and it is the first freestanding children's library in the United States. So it's a very special building.
And I understand you have a lot of different activities, and one of the most intriguing is this thing called Story Time. Tell us about it.
We have many story times per week. We actually service children from infancy all the way through 6th grade. So we have programs for babies, and we have toddler programs and preschool programs, and then stories for the school-age children as well.
And there's another aspect of this, the Peninsula Story Guild, and they do something slightly different?
Right. The Peninsula Story Guild also has a rich history. Back in 1946, there was a class through the adult education program on children's literature. And then in 1947, there was a segment of that class was on storytelling, and it was those women who formed the first guild. And the first guild met in very early 1948, and it has grown over the years, and many of our original people have unfortunately passed away. But they have been out in the community telling stories in a variety of settings all of these many, many years. And actually, we're looking for more people to participate in that. The more tellers we have, the more we can send them out to preschools and senior centers and different types of organizations in the community. So we are looking for people, young and old, men and women, and even older teens who are interested in the art of storytelling.
Well, that sounds terrific. And the best way for them to get involved and to find out more would be how?
Well, we meet here at Children's Library every third Monday from 7 to 9 p.m., or they can call the number on the screen for more information.
Oh, thanks so much, Katie.
Sure, thank you.
Officer Brad Kilpatrick of the Palo Alto Police Department is going to talk to us today about safe driving in the winter conditions. Brad, what's the first thing residents should know about winter driving?
Well, some of the things they should know are the fact that the rains are coming upon us pretty quickly, and with that, keeping that in mind, when the first rains hit the roadway, the oil and dirt will raise itself to the surface, which causes a very slick surface, which creates a stopping hazard.
And if you were to list, say, 3 basic issues that residents should be most aware of, what would those top 3 bullet points be about winter driving?
Well, I think it's very important to create a good, safe following distance with the vehicle in front of you.
Yeah.
Another would be a good running vehicle with good quality tires for the roadway surface, to displace the water. Good working windshield wipers, and in the inclement weather, possibly even having your headlights on.
That's a good point. Now, I understand that there was a felony hit-and-run accident and there's a reward out. Can you give us more information about that accident?
Absolutely. There's actually a $10,000 reward being offered currently for the arrest and conviction of the suspect that was involved in that felony hit and run, which occurred on November 8th at about 8:20 p.m. on Alma Street at intersection of Everett.
And residents can call the hotline and give information if they have any?
Yes, they can. Any information would be helpful to, which would lead us to the conviction of the suspect involved in this.
Great. Thanks, Brad. Richard Dodds and I are going to be talking about flooring. Not a deep subject, but a wide subject. Richard, I know that sustainability is a big thing with the city of Palo Alto, so you're going to tell us about flooring that is sustainable and renewable, right?
That's correct, PA. There are several options for the homeowner out there considering redecorating or remodeling. In the flooring, there are several more sustainable or more environmentally friendly options that I brought some samples to show.
Okay, let's see the first one, which I understand is bamboo, which is similar to hardwood.
That's correct. We have some bamboo flooring samples here, which basically is configured exactly like a traditional hardwood floor. The material goes all the way through it, so you can refinish it. It does come pre-finished, and it is installed in pretty much the exact same way as a traditional hardwood floor. And we have 2 different types of pattern or grain alignment. Here is a horizontal orientation. And here's an example of a vertically oriented. So you have difference in the grain pattern, and as well as you have here 2 different color options.
Okay, the bamboo looks really nice, but now let's say I want a slightly softer product that maybe has a more uniform look. I think you have some cork here to show us.
That's correct. I have 2 different types of cork flooring. Believe it or not, they're manufacturing. These are interlocking cork tiles which form what's called a floating floor. In other words, the tiles are glued to each other but not glued to the subfloor. And here you have it, 12-inch by 12-inch tiles. They are hard on the top, but they do provide a little bit of a spring because they're a little softer on the backside. And here we have actually glue-down cork tiles, much the same as you would vinyl composition tile. And here you have a very, very, very large array of colors and patterns to choose from.
So hardwood, knockoff like bamboo, cork, different colors, shapes, sizes. But the ultimate, of course, in carpeting, recycling carpet, is the wool, right?
Well, that's true. We have some samples of traditional wool carpet, which is the ultimate and renewable resource. Wool carpeting has been around for thousands of years. It is slightly more expensive than traditional synthetic fiber carpets, but it is very, very durable.
And I imagine all those Persian rugs or Oriental rugs are made out of this product.
That's true. The Persian rugs and Oriental rugs are made of wool, and some of them are hundreds of years old.
And overall, what would you like to tell residents about sustainability and renewable products?
Well, I'd like to encourage everyone, if they have a home renovation project, to investigate using green building materials as much as possible. We have some information at our development center, a flyer on green building materials in general, and our latest flyer, which will be out shortly, on flooring specifics.
And residents can also check our sustainability website?
Yes, that's correct. If they click on the sustainability part of our city's main page, they can find out all they want to know about sustainability.
Thanks so much, Richard.
Thanks for having me.
Have you ever wondered what happens to your leaves and yard trimmings that you put out for collection? Well, we're here at the Palo Alto landfill to talk with Clark Akativ, the landfill supervisor, about the composting process. Clark?
Yeah, thank you, Wendy. The composting process at the City of Palo Alto is a multifaceted operation. We take all of the leaves and trimmings and things that are collected by the garbage company in the city, brought out here. Also, we take gardeners' materials from the public, tree trimmers, and it comes in as what we call green waste, which you can see down in the front of the pad. This material is then put through the red machine, which is known as a compost grinder, and it grinds it all up into more or less a uniform product that we call ground green, even though it's actually brown. This material is then put into long rows, which are called windrows, which we add water to and we turn a requisite number of times, and after about 3 months it has degraded to the point that it is a compost. We then push it to a large stockpile, which you can see down on the pad near our screener, the green machine, which is a screener. The material is then screened, and we end up with a final product, which is a commercial product of compost, which we sell in great volume to the commercial landscape industry. And we also provide this to the city of Palo Alto for internal use and to the residents on compost giveaway days, which we have in the spring, the summer, and the fall of each year. Wendy?
Thank you, Clark. If you have any questions or would like to know the next compost giveaway dates, please give us a call at the recycling program. And for the first 10 people who call us and say they've seen this, you can get a free bag of compost. So this is Wendy Hediger reminding you to reduce, reuse, recycle, and buy recycled.
Now available for adoption at the Palo Alto Animal Shelter. Rachel is an 8-year-old spayed female tortoiseshell cat. She is a true love. Katie is a 2-year-old spayed female cat. She is very playful, curious, and fun to be with. Champ is a large neutered male cat that has lived his life on the streets. He came to us with an old eye injury that required surgery. Champ needs a home where he can receive lots of patience and understanding. Bumper is a 7-month-old male beagle who is in need of a semi-active home. Jessie is a 4-month-old spayed female terrier mix. Jessie is fun, loves other dogs, and have lots of smiles to put on faces. Chuckles is a neutered male rabbit that is a bit on the shy side but warms up very quickly. Petunia and Ivory are spayed females who truly enjoy each other's company and would love a home together. Fonzie is a 2-year-old male guinea pig who is quite the talker. Fonzie is a small little friend with a huge character. You can see all these animals and many more at the Palo Alto Animal Shelter, 3281 East Bay Shore Road in Palo Alto. We're open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Give us a call at 496-5971.
Thanks for watching CityBeat Inside Palo Alto. I'm P.A. Moore. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please send them to the email address listed at the end of the credits. See you next time.